All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews, as always, and we're back with more Sam Rockwell month. Today, right now, we are talking about 2000's Charlie's Angels, or as my late grandfather used to say, Chuck's Chicks. Sorry. And it's been fun doing these because I'm reviewing movies that I might not review otherwise if it wasn't for the involvement of Sam Rockwell. And I really wasn't looking forward to this one because I knew I wasn't gonna feel the same way I did back in 2000 about anything except for probably Sam Rockwell. And so, look, yeah. So this movie, it has a very short attention span, especially with the music. It's just song, song, song. Look, other movies do it. Other movies are guilty of this. It's just like pick a beat for a second. And it really leans into the cheese factor at a lot of times here. But then all of a sudden it wants to be taken seriously. So there's a problem with tone. And like, I don't think this works in this gray middle area where they're trying to give everybody a little bit of something. I think you either take it seriously or you go all the way the other way, like Naked Gun the shit out of this. And even by taking it seriously, you can still have comedy in there. It just has to be, it can't be a fucking cartoon character, like a version of it. Because so much of this is just like a fucking cartoon version of what this would really be like. But before I just rail in on this, okay, I want to play my favorite scene, just so you know that when I think of Charlie's Angels, this is the scene I think about when I go, this is what it could have been like if they just leaned into this kind of like area where it's a little bit silly, but badass too. The rest, so much of this is just ridiculous. And this is too, but it's having fun with it. And I don't know. For some reason, I really like this scene, and it is an action scene, and I just, I don't know. I respond to the scene more than other stuff, but I don't know why that is, really. Drew's really great in it. That's maybe why. And she was cool and funny and had fun with it and was taking it serious, but not too serious. So this is what I mean. Hang on one sec.
Don't take my lighter.
Every one of you is going to be face down on the floor, and I'm going to moonwalk out of here. You're not listening to me. See, first, you're going to help me out of my chair, and then I'm going to leapfrog over you before I break his nose. And since my trusty lighter isn't working, I'm going to do all of this with my hands tied behind my back. King Kong poem. Buddha, I'm loading. And that's kicking your ass.
Okay, so I know what you're thinking, and no, I didn't pick that because Drew did that scene spread eagle. I was like wondering why they had to do it like that. But it's because her hands were tied behind her back. She couldn't put her hands up to say stop. She had to use her legs. But this movie, I mean, like I needed notes for this, but let's just talk about Sam Rockwell's place in it, because this is Sam Rockwell month. This is about him. I wouldn't be reviewing it without him. So he plays Eric Knox, this like smart tech guy, quiet guy, you know, oh, he's unassuming and everything. And what's cool about his character is his whole thing, his tech thing that he came up with is like a pre 9/11 kind of end of privacy kind of tech that could be used to, you know, eavesdrop on everybody, right? And this is pre 9/11, before, you know, the Patriot Act and all this other stuff. And I find that interesting at watching movies like this that are right before 2001. It's just like, there's an episode of The Lone Gunman, the very first one, the spin-off show from the X-Files. Their first episode dealt with a remote-controlled plane flying into the Trade Center. And I always think that these ideas that they were coming up with in the like early 2000s before that happened, like, is pretty interesting. Also, like, Sam is so great with Drew Barrymore in this. And it shows in this, and it carries over in Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, his like chemistry that they have. I would say they're really believable. Even though it's just this one scene where he seduces her, but you think it's all cute and everything, and you don't know at the time that it's a ploy, but it really feels like they got something. In one scene, they just were like into each other, but it felt like real to me. Maybe women or other people might think differently, or maybe that's just the romantic in me, or maybe there was the desire to see Sam Rockwell making out with Drew Barrymore. I don't know. But I really think that they have chemistry. And yeah, it's like, it's cool. You find out that he set all this up. He kidnapped himself to get them, to lead them to him, to Charlie, because Charlie supposedly killed his dad. And, you know, you don't know anything about Charlie, so who's to say that this guy's not in the right? You know what I mean? And honestly, aren't the angels kind of breaking the law anyway? Like, Charlie's just this guy that has money that fronts these women to go around taking out bad guys under his what is he? Who is, you know, like, what I mean? You know, he's just a guy, he's the money man. So aren't they technically like really breaking the law with everything that they do? But when they find out that Knox is a bad guy, it's when he comes alive and he's dancing and stuff, and it was just cool. It has all these just, you know, clever little lines and stuff, and it just, early Sam stuff that just got me more and more into him as an actor. And he makes this watchable. He makes this movie watchable, because in a lot of ways, now that we're getting into the movie proper, it's so fucking bad. I know I liked it at the time that it came out, and it's still like, I can enjoy it on some level where, I mean, if I had like, kind of like brain trauma, or I wasn't 100% into my, you know, with my faculties and stuff. But I mean, I do like, there's like from the beginning, I mean, there's a TJ Hooker, the movie reference, which is funny, you know, because then they get to be meta, and this is meta before meta. So, you know, they make the whole TV reference thing, like making stuff from old shows, which was being done, like Beverly Hillbillies and the Brady Bunch, and all this stuff was coming out. And they make that joke, like, what are you going to do? And he goes, walk out. LL Cool J. LL Cool J is in this movie. And he's like, yeah, walk out. And that's a funny joke. It is topical. It still holds up today when people try to do that. But the rest of it is just cheesy as fuck. And so in that respect, I guess, you know, if that's what you were going for, well done. Oh God, and I wrote it out. Natalie, this is about Natalie, Alex, and Dylan. It leans into its campiness, but then at the other times it's like, oh, let's be serious. Yeah, it wants to be taken seriously. And then all of a sudden I remember writing, oh fuck, I forgot, Tom Green's in this. And that her problem, it might be the Chad. Yeah, it might be the Chad. And so also Cameron Diaz dancing around in her underwear with like okay, I get it. Cameron Diaz is sexy. Good Lord, was this like this, if you were like 12 to like 15. Good Lord. But it's like really, literally in your face. Or like, I sound like I'm complaining, but it's just like, okay, I get it. Cameron, back off, lady, okay? Okay, thank you. I get it. And then, of course, we get the whole famous, you know, you can just go ahead and put anything in my, you know, put things in my slot. Isn't this supposed to be like a feminist movie? Like something that's, or, you know, pro-feminist kind of movie, you know, Drew Barrymore and all these girls. And it's around girl power, so you got fucking Spice Girls that came out, you know, and so was this what it really looked like back in 2000? Was this where feminism in movies was, where they were just like really leaning into the sexism? I mean, I know this is Harvey Weinstein's heyday, but holy shit, dude, are they just, like Drew, I'm just surprised now looking back on it. At the time, I don't know why I didn't think, like, why are they leaning into the sex object angle at this? Because I would have thought in 2000 that people were getting fed up with that, but apparently I don't remember this movie as well as I do. Although I do remember Bill Murray and Lucy Liu's thing, where he just didn't think much of her acting, which is kind of funny, because he's terrible in this. This is a paycheck movie for Bill Murray, and every scene that he's in, I don't think there's one fucking funny moment of his. No, I don't, and even unintentionally. Or intentionally, maybe even anything he was trying to do to improv. I don't think I found any of it good. And you know, sometimes you just take these jobs, but man, does it like just kind of go, oh, Bill. And you got like these other interesting characters in here, like Bill Murray's in this movie, Tim Curry's in this movie, wasted as like a Branson type of billionaire guy. He's wasted in it. When what is this? There's a comment that, oh, Kelly Lynch is in this movie. That's right. I forgot about Kelly Lynch. And all I can think, I forgot about Kelly Lynch, period. All I remember is Roadhouse. But there's this like moment where like Lucy Liu makes a comment to Tim Curry as he's like, yeah, giving the massage. She's like, I'm not going anywhere near your staff. And then he just goes, and she rolls her eyes, and it's like, wait, girl, you're the one who made the comment. He's just reacting to it, and you're rolling your eyes. I was just like, Jesus. Yeah. Oh, and that's why they call me Balls Out Natalie. Girl power. Pretty sure when Crispin Glover was fighting them at that first part, where they're doing their post-Matrix fight scenes in this movie, which is hilarious if you think about it. The Matrix had just come out, so everybody was trying to do wire work and slow-mo and bullet time. They're trying to do it here, and it's really not good. But I'm pretty sure Crispin Glover shot all of them in that scene. They just decided to ignore that because it sure looked like he was hitting every spot that they were. And I'm just like, well, this was a short movie. Oh, they're still fucking alive. Okay. Yeah, then there's like when they meet up again and it's the race car and they just, somehow that bridge is nobody's on that bridge. And if you're telling me that the race was going across that bridge, how did they insure all those people to go racing across the bridge like that? So I call shenanigans. Like, if you're going to be naked gun, okay? But don't, you know, because then she just hits, nothing happens to her car. He flies off. Nothing happened really to his car until it hits the water. Those things fall apart. Like, have they never watched a race before and how they crack up? And then we never even see Crispin Glover again, which is fucking unfortunate. But poor Crispin Glover, man, again, like, he's being so creepy. And he was better, more interesting than the girls were. He was more interesting. Sam Rockwell was more interesting. Tim Curry was more interesting. Kelly Lynch was more interesting. All the bad guys were more interesting because they were just getting to chew scenery. While the three actresses were just trying to, I don't know what in this. But I mean, this was also around the time that Alias was about to come out. And I'm all for girl power, but man, it has to, like, this just doesn't hold up. Because all they're doing in this whole movie is a series of distractions. And then quick little, like, they do these full-blown look at my tits distractions and then sneak in, and that's the whole thing. And again, like, if they were just leaning into complete parody or satire, I'd say go for it. But then, you know, you wouldn't probably be able to get these actresses because they'd be like, no, I want to do this serious. And it's like, honey, have you watched the show? I didn't mean to say honey like that, like some sort of like condescending way, but really, like, what do they say in How I Met Your Mother? Oh, honey. Oh, when he goes to Soul Train, right? He takes her to Soul Train because every blonde suburban prom queen, homecoming queen, you know, other side of, you know, right side of the tracks is always, her dream is to be on Soul Train. And I mean, oh my God. This is really cringy. This part and her dancing and then her somehow winning over the crowd that should have nothing to do with this. Like, they shouldn't be having any of this because this isn't right. This is not Soul Train, but we're trying to bridge social barriers and, you know, good Lord, though, it was just hard to watch. And poor Luke Wilson giving off one-liners, you know, his little line-orama with the two bodyguards, which was just desperation. Like, poor Luke Wilson, man. Oh. This was like right around Rushmore time too. So, oh, and then when they all decide to, they find out Charlie's only a millionaire. For real? Charlie's only a millionaire. He's funding these 3 girls and Bosley and all the secrecy and all the things that they can do at a whim. And he's just a millionaire? Fuck right off. Even in 2000, this wouldn't fly. Seriously? I'm sorry if that makes me cynical, but fuck all that shit. And when they decide to kill everybody and Lucy Liu's, you know, pinned to the top of her trailer, wouldn't it have hurt? Would it have hurt to like check that she's dead? You've already blown the fucking house up, and you're a bunch of guys. What are you worried about? Somebody go make sure she's dead. And I guess I was just rooting for the bad guys in this movie a little bit. Oh, and then the whole thing where she says it's a full-service job. When they talk about how she slept with him, she goes, it's a full... Jesus Christ, really? Oh, and then the bird calls. Bird calls, too. Really, Cameron Diaz's character? Oh, she's going to be really good at bird calls. That's how we're going to find Bosley. Holy fuck. I mean, at least they take the time to write the bullshit in there that explains the bullshit and that comes afterwards. So I guess that I can't be mad at it for answering how she knows. She just does. But and I love how the villains are all just chilling, waiting for a file to download. That's the whole thing in this whole movie, is just to get a file to find Charlie's fucking address. Because these were 2000s problems on the internet, was waiting to download things. Oh man. Then they fight on the set of an Uncharted video game where it's like there's the lighthouse, there's the little lighthouse, and there's literally like cover that looks, the whole thing looks like a scene from an Uncharted video game. It comes with its own cover. And did anybody else notice that they talk to Bosley like a dog? Oh, Bosley. Oh, oh my God. Then when they all fly out the roof, and they're all rolling down the hills, crashing into rocks. I was just like, okay, 3 broken spines later, Charlie's found, you know, skeleton is found blown the fuck up. And when she throws the phone and destroys it in the middle of her Luke Wilson conversation, and she goes, hey, I liked that guy. Did she actually think that Luke Wilson was the phone? Because by that line, and I know, before you jump down my throat, no, of course I know that's not, I'm not being serious, but she sure sounded like she believed that the phone and Luke Wilson were one and the same, and if you destroy one, you've killed the other. Then when they're on the fucking, I'm gonna switch over to let's do the trailer. You can play the trailer in the background. All right, so yeah, then when they get on the helicopter and they're hanging there, okay, so let's be kind or say, or at least reasonable and say each of these girls weighs 100 pounds, right? Within maybe 10. So it's close to 300 pounds hanging off the side of that helicopter. Do you think he wouldn't notice that one side's dragging a little bit? But then when they do their whole thing on there and they switch the CGI missile that almost hits Charlie and it swings back and it blows up and poor Sam gets blown up. But I mean, he's out of the movie now, so, you know, good for him. But they fall down straight down and they don't get crushed by the fucking helicopter because they just fade away. And then they just show them on the beach. And that'd be great if they got up on the beach And it was like fucking Hurley from Lost comes walking up to him and he's like, hey, how you guys doing? You want... They're already done. And so I just kind of saw it as they stopped Sam Rockwell from getting revenge on Charlie, because do we really believe, how do we just believe Charlie? Charlie likes to keep a harem of women at his will. Oh my gosh, who else did stuff like that? Or tried to control women like that around this time? Anyway. And they're not smart enough to find Charlie on their own. They're like 3 brilliant women who can know birds calls at the drop of a hat. So they couldn't find Charlie, but I don't know. Anyway, that's Charlie's Angels, everybody. I hope you enjoyed me talking about it. I hope, that you were entertained at the very least. Look at that. Yeah, I get it. You're sexy. Otherwise, if you liked this review, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, all that jazz. Otherwise, the next Sam Rockwell movie we're watching is called Welcome to Collinwood. So we'll be back then with more Sam Rockwell month. Otherwise, this is Rob at Smirking Gun Review saying have a great day, and we will see you next time. Bye.
They say that in death, all life's questions are answered. They let me